Hello everybody, my name's Ryan and this is Weekend Mountain Biker, and on this video I'm going to talk about my new cheap bike. Hey, how are you?
Good. Ryan Doyle?
Yep.
You got it. Yeah, you can do it like that too. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that looks terrible.
I think I've dropped it one too many times.
Two thumbs up. First time I've ever ordered a bike online. We're gonna bust this thing open, do an inspection, see how she turns out. All right. So right out of the gate, I have to say I couldn't be happier with my decision to buy the Hal Boost from Bikes Direct. They don't sponsor anybody, so I'm just speaking the facts for myself here. The purchasing process was as easy as it gets, almost too easy. You simply pick the bike you want, you pay for it, and about 7 to 9 days later, you get a box delivered. I've never bought a bike in a box before, so I found this one to be packed in there very nicely, and it didn't take much to get it out. However, I do recommend taking pictures of everything. For packaging purposes, warranty purposes, take every serial number and even how it's packaged and document it. I would recommend being careful as you do unpack because you need a utility knife and you don't want to be scratching the finish on the bike up with a utility knife. I'm pretty mechanically inclined, and I found the instructions that came with the bike for assembly to be pretty useless. It took me about an hour and a half to assemble the bike. So if you don't consider yourself mechanically inclined, maybe you should use a shop for the assembly. I understand they charge about $150 to $250 to assemble the bike. However, they do everything for you, and other than putting some air in the suspension, when you get the bike back, you're ready to ride. So now let me talk a little bit about the bike. It comes with a Pike RC Debonair front fork. That is not to be confused with the RCT3, which is the upgrade. The Pike RC comes with 150 millimeters of travel and can be upgraded at a future date to a 160 millimeters of travel. It could also be upgraded to the RCT3, but that does cost a pretty penny. Just to buy the cartridge runs about $250. The dropper seat post is a mechanical seat post with 120 millimeters of travel by KS, and the rear suspension has 150 millimeters of travel, powered by a RockShox Monarch with lockout. The drivetrain on it is a GX 1x12 with the Eagle gearing, so that is pretty nice. And the tires that come with it are 27.5 inch tires with 2.6 inches of width. They are tubeless compatible, but they come with tubes in them. So If you want to convert them over to tubeless tires, you will need to do it yourself or take it to a shop. If you do it yourself, you will need to purchase 34 millimeter rim tape, sealant, and tubeless compatible stems. If you take it to the bike shop, they have all that stuff and can do it for you, and the prices to do that vary on the bike shop. The brakes are Shimano XT hydraulic with 180 millimeter rotors front and rear. You may notice I struggle a bit with the dropper post. I found this to be the most complicated part of the installation. Once I got it all put together, I've still got a pile of extra cord up in front of the bike I don't know what to do with. So probably at a later date I'm going to have to take the actuator off of the handlebars, cut down that cable and shorten it up to some extent. But I imagine if you do that, if you ever want to take the dropper post out and maintenance it or take it apart, you have to take the actuator off the handlebar to give you enough cable to be able to pull the seat post out. But I like it as it is for now. Overall, the bike weighs in at about 30 pounds, which I found to be just fine. So as far as sizing goes, I am just about 5'11", which puts me squarely between size medium and size large. I opted to go with the medium to get an improved standover height, lower the weight just slightly, and also I wanted the ability to put on a taller dropper post at a future time. Seems to fit pretty well. Well, that's it for this episode of Weekend Mountain Biker. I just got done with a ride on my new Motobecane. And just as a side note, when I was looking for a bike, I didn't have a particular brand in mind. I simply was looking for value and within my price range, and I couldn't justify spending thousands and thousands more for a name or for a brand. And maybe there is a huge difference in the frames, but the componentry package and the upgradability, I couldn't pass up. So I really like the bike so far. I'm loving it on the trail. Riding faster and more confident than I did before. And remember though, it's not about what you ride or what you do for activity, but it's about staying healthy and having fun. See you next time.